Hey guys, this is Bunny, Intuition, Desire. I'm formerly nail tech. I do nails in the Baltimore area, also DC. At this time, I'm not traveling. Anyway, I wanted to tell y'all a story. This story is about how I was targeted from a job I worked for many years. I'm not gonna say the name of the job because I'm over it now. Okay. Anyway, I work with people with disabilities. I take care of them in their home. I'm a trained medical employee. I give medication. That's what that means. I assist with medication. I'm an ex-EMT as well. So I worked this job for about 10 years, dedicated. Dedicated. I worked every shift, daytime, night, overnight, whatever. And I worked with many different kinds of people, even the violent ones. And I had a boss that I worked for. So it's an organization, and it's like an agency, and there are ladders, I want to say, like chief of command. You have to go in command, whatever. I'm probably not saying the word right, but yeah. Anywho, my immediate supervisor of my group home was a female. Okay, this is a female. We just gonna call her Sagittarius. When she met me, I think I was about 220 pounds at the time. I was a little bit heavy. I was married, depressed a little bit. I had just had my last daughter, right? And I was coming from another company and working there too. But she got me a good shift. When the shift came available, so I didn't have to do the part-time no more. And I ended up leaving for the other company. I came over there full-time. Long story short is, this woman used to always be in my business, always want to talk to me, always want to know where I'm at, be low-key trying to joke me right in my face like I didn't know what she was doing and everything. I just never paid her no mind. I already felt, at first I thought she was just broken, because when I first met her, she had a black eye, which came from some dude she was dealing with. Then she had lost a lot of weight and shit. She was depressed, I guess, or whatever. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But me, I'm not straight. So I had a wife at the time, so I just empathized with her and listened to her rules, or whatever. And she listened to mine. But I think she took how emotional I was over certain lovers I had as a weakness. Like I was weak. Oh boy, it's crazy, right? So, anywho, time goes by, and this, maybe last year, 2022, is when everything hit the fan, y'all. One day, everything hit the fan. I noticed she was watching what I was wearing. I noticed she was I started doing nails probably in 2019, so she didn't want to support my business. She didn't know that I knew she told other people negative shit about my business, right? So they wouldn't want to get their nails done by me and shit or whatever. I didn't know why she was doing none of this, or anything. I never knew what I did to her for her to feel this way, until one day, me and her was standing outside of the job, and this dude rolled past in a van, and he was smiling at both of us while we was talking to each other. And she turns around and says, "What are you laughing at?" He says to her, I'm looking at that woman with that beautiful smile right there and on red pants." And so it was me. I had on the red pants at the time, right? So I look over there and I say, oh, thank you, whatever. And I could feel her energy, y'all, on the side of me. She was looking at me and she felt some type of motherfucking way. It was like this. So I was like, hey, thank you, whatever. And she was like this, just looking at me like, and looking at him. Girl, I'm telling you, it was weird. I could feel it. But then I looked around at her with a smile and she tried to smile and, try to keep things cordial. But that's when I realized that she either jealous of me or she was envious of me. You know what I mean? One of the two. I don't know. Which is weird because I don't even like men. It's not that I don't like men. I find men attractive. It's just I'm more attracted to a woman. Okay? So we're not even after the same things. And she my manager. She making more money than me. Or at least I guess she didn't feel she was. I don't know what it was. But it was just weird. It was weird. And then one day we got into it, honey. And I don't know what she said to me. That I think she offered me up or some shit like that on the low. There was another person in there that day when it was happening, right? It was another work colleague. And so I pulled out my phone and started videoing her. And she stopped talking. So when she got up, she said something on her breath. So I think the other lady, we're going to call her Miss Pooh, okay? Because I don't want to get names. So Miss Pooh says, she walks, what did she say? She said, what is going on in here? Some shit like that. And the other lady, my boss, she said around and she says, oh, Elon is just upset. She ain't gonna do nothing. Some shit like that. Honey, I lost it. Got up, walked behind her because all I could think of is I'm about to lose my job. And I put a lot of effort in it. So if I'm gonna sit in the jail, it's gonna be for a reason. She gonna sit right in the fucking hospital. And I went straight behind her. Miss Rosie walked, excuse my name, Miss Pooh walked in between us. And she stopped me from going after her. I'm telling you, it was like I came down, I had to think, but honey, it couldn't stop my mouth. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I went off. My mouth said everything but the Christ of Jesus. Called her everything that I ever thought of her. Over a 10-year period, I just let it all out. I didn't like her. Told her about herself. Told her that she need to get her act together. She need to act like a boss, and all that shit. I mean, I just went on her. And then the next day, honey, the next day came. We saw each other. I apologized, but she egged that shit on. That's how I felt. She provoked it, but I allowed her to let me get out of character. Now that the way I see it now that I've calmed down, but at the time I didn't really realize what was going on, and I really didn't care. I just felt like she was trying to disrespect me. And coming at me so strong for no reason, right? It was unwarranted. So, anywho, when I came in the next day for work, she had HR in there. She had a written notice, and it was a paragraph long, honey. And I still did not sign that shit. I put a fucking X on it because when I read it, it sounded like ludicrous. She made it seem like I just came out of nowhere and I was just crazy, So that night, I wrote mine. And I sent it to upper management and HR. But honey, I don't even think nobody even said nothing to me about it or anything. So this is when I learned that HR is not for the employees. It's to protect the company. They don't give a fuck about you, okay? You don't like what's going on? Quit. That's basically what they be telling you. Anyway, long story short, after that event, I had transferred to another manager. Because I couldn't deal with her shit. I'm like, I'm going to end up getting fired. And when I reported it to upper management, nobody did nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was like, they turned a blind eye. Like, this wasn't the first time she done this shit. Anywho, hold up. Oh, shit. Anywho, I got a promotion to a new job as a manager. So I was working part-time still for the old company, and I had started being a manager for the new company. That was a disaster, honey, in itself, only to find out I was being set up. So what ended up happening is, and what I ended up finding out is that my boss's ex-boyfriend was the manager of the company that I was working for. So they had a relationship, and I never knew he had a thing for me that was negative as well. I never even knew none of this shit. I knew he kept calling me a lot to come and work for his come back to his company, but he never asked me to come back as a manager. When I was the first personnel who started his company, I was his first employee, you know. And this man, it was crazy though. Anywho, I came back and I started on a light pay just to see what the job was about, right? So then I requested more because I was going to leave, and he gave it to me because he didn't have a replacement. Little did I know. And I was thinking, well, he felt I deserved it. I'm like, you know me. Like, I'm the one that started this with you. So, you know, it was little signs and shit like that red flags that I did notice. I'm not going to say I didn't notice it. I did. I just wanted to see where it was going to go. You know, and I was trying to understand what would make him, is he really jealous of a woman? Do I really intimidate him as a woman? Ladies, I'm telling you, you got to be careful sometimes. I'm not saying all men like that, but, you know, some men, they be jealous of females, especially when they think you too confident. Hell yeah. And I noticed what he felt. He felt I was too confident for an American woman. Reminded me of my ex-husband. He felt the same way. And that's why he my ex, and that's why he my ex-boss. You hear me? So, anyway, when I realized that I was being targeted and bullied and slandered, you know, beyond recognition, I still held my patience. I'm not gonna lie. I held my patience. I didn't respond the way I wanted to because I realized that's what they wanted me to do. Okay? They wanted me to respond ignorant so they could fire me. And the reason why I stayed as long as I did and took as much as I did, not only to prepare me for a new job and not let it happen again, but I wanted to see who was the root of it all. Where was this coming from? I had to figure it out. You know, I'm a motherfucking tourist. I have to figure this shit out. I can't just accept it. So when I realized that where I was trying to get to was not going to happen, was not going to pass, because the person who had the keys to where I was trying to go to within that company, they was the start of the whole thing. They didn't even like me. So I was like, oh yeah, fuck this shit. So I demoted myself, you know, and became I wanted to be an employee because to take the attention off of me a little bit, right, while I still figured out everything. And then one day, right after I figured it all out, I called my boss and requested copies of all the recorded videos of supervisions that they had, right? Now, mind you, I told you I was being targeted, bullied, verbally disrespected, talked to all harsh and everything. Like I was wrong and shit. And I couldn't understand why was they coming at me like that. Especially his new colleague, the new guy. The new guy didn't even know me. So it's like I figured it out, you know, like he had started passing out promotions because I had been talking to staff, you know, getting all the info. Letting them know what was going on because I already knew. If I'm going out with a bang. Everybody's gonna know about this. You will not keep me quiet. And I'm telling you, he tried to keep me quiet. Mind you, the person I'm talking about, he is a foreigner. He's a cool man. But honey, so I thought. This man was the devil. He's greedy. And not only that, he is a pastor of a church. Can you believe that? He is a pastor and he runs a congregation. And this is what he do to people. He judged them. He thinks that he knows me and he really doesn't know me. You know, I'm telling you. I always felt that way. Even when I started working for him in 2018, something I saw him do that didn't seem ethical, I believe. So I was like, And I don't like working for unethical people, not in that field. Because the first thing gonna happen is you'll get fired and blamed and slandered, and the company gonna go on because you're contractors. They're not taking responsibility for you. They're coming after you on your own. So you need to have good judgment and character when you're making decisions. Shit, that's what I'm keep messing up with, y'all. It's killing me. Yeah, when you're making decisions or dealing with people's families, you know what I'm saying? And so this man puts on a front for the public, but for real, he don't give a fuck about nobody. Him or that damn wife of his. Yeah. It was just crazy, but it was quite an experience. It was just something I learned because I thought I knew him. I met him like 2018. I'm sorry, like 2014. 2013 is when I met him. And I always looked up as him as a remarkable man, you know. And at one time, from my understanding, he didn't even like my boss. They used to say that she was mean. They talked about her so badly, and to know that he had sex with her, and then she talked about him terribly. She told everybody that his genitalia were not up to par. I was like, I didn't even know that he was too short. That's why she broke up with him. So, you know, it was just weird the way he talked, like he was so sedity, and he would be too good for her. He would fake in front of where I work at is very diverse. Okay, so you got a lot of Africans and Americans, and they work together. But when I first came in, nobody liked her. Nobody liked her. And let me tell you what's ironic to all of this. She ended up marrying one. But he don't know. She crazy. Do you know what I did? I sent that man a picture. I screenshotted a picture, y'all, out of my TikTok on one of my old pages. Because I felt she was watching me or something. I don't know. But lo and behold, I did find her picture. She had been watching my page, stalking me. So I took a screenshot, sent it to her damn husband, and told him to tell your wife to stop fucking stalking me. And this was recently. Okay? So I'm telling you, honestly, I'm glad that I left, the way I did. I'm glad I did. I knew it was coming, but because I as kind as I can be, I am not a goddamn pushover, And what I did was spiteful, but it needed to be done. Yeah, I might not work there anymore, and that's cool because I didn't want to. It was too toxic. It was like he put in a lot of arguments between staff and management, and then, hide his hand. He decided that would throw a rock and damn near hide his hand. I'm telling you, it was crazy, right? But again, whenever I would be in his presence, mind you, he's a short guy. He's not that tall. He's about, I want to say 5'7", if that, because he looks short to me, right? And I'm 5'5". But every time when I'm in his presence, it's something about my aura that intimidates him. You know what I'm saying? And I never could figure out what it was. And when I met his wife is very feminine. She's a very feminine energy, petite. It's like a masked, timid look because there's something under there that can bite you. I realized they are dual. Oh boy. Anyway, it's gonna be a part 2 of this. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to you. Tune in or check my page out, and you'll get the rest of the message. All right, guys. Bye.